Hello, my friends. Today is July the 5th, and this is a psychic reading for you if this is your birth date. This is a four-card pull to cover the year to follow. I am a psychic reader and a healer. Been doing it for 38 years, lots of different modalities. I work out of my place in Albuquerque. I also do a lot of internet readings. Check out my credits, check out my website. Four-card pull, a general energy card or a lens to look at the year through, then a challenge you might face, and an action to take to stay in balance, and then an outcome or synopsis card. So the general energy card or the general lens of the year is the sustainer. This talks about people who are the background people. The behind the scenes people, the ones who just keep things moving, that keep things done, that feed the hungry, to make the beds, that form the steel, that do the service, that help the others, that build the things and keep it clean and keep it moving. And often they're without uh, acknowledgement. Often if you are this energy, most likely you are without acknowledgement. You are without often a sense of praise, and you just plow along and go along and get it done because you know it needs to be done, and on some level maybe you think you're the only one that can get it done because no one else is stepping forward to do it. And so you have to watch out, I think, on some levels for resentment, from thinking that you have to do it alone or that you're the only one that can do it. That's a lot of the ego talking, but that does not deplete away from the fact that the sustainer is a necessary part of existence, how to keep things flowing and moving. The sustainer has to learn to adapt, and sometimes the sustainer can get stuck in their patterns and their routines and their ruts, and not want it to change. But the sustainer ultimately knows that they must learn how to go with the flow and keep things moving, and choose if they need to step up and ask for help and ask for acknowledgement. But that's more than likely not a part of what the sustainer does. It's fine to be behind the scenes. It's an honorable service, and it's a way to look at things. This is the particular challenge, Five of Pentacles, feeling outside of things. Here are people, paupers, destitute people outside the church walls, not feeling like they can get into the church, not feeling like that's available to them, feeling like they're shut off, abandoned, that they don't have money. So this was talking to you, those people born on this date. Are you going to feel impoverished this year in some way? Are you going to feel poor and an outcast in some way? Are you going to feel cut off and unaligned in some way? So this is your challenge, and I think the challenge is inherent in this card to say, this is a lot about how you understand prosperity, how you understand richness, how you understand um, uh, your own sense of abandonment or your own sense of part of something. So this and the support that comes from others, including all the way up to God as creator, however you want to see that energy, is that cosmic universal creative energy supporting you or not. And do you feel alone and abandoned and destitute on some level? So that's your challenge when you feel like that this year, if you have to feel like that this year. And it feels like on some level the sustainer in you feels like you just can't go on doing what you've been doing because you feel so cut out and cut off and unappreciated and treated as an other, as an outcast, as someone outside of. So it's this is a lot about changing one's belief systems and recognizing that in being loyal to yourself, the dog, and being loyal to yourself, and being loyal to those people you serve, and being loyal to those functions that can help you to understand things. I think when you reach outside of yourself and you're loyal to that sense of you're not really alone, and you're not really abandoned, and you're not really cut off, and there are ways for you to sustain what you're doing, to keep doing what you're doing. On some level, maybe this even talks about, a deep depression about one's life and what one needs to do, and a sense of futility and abandonment. So the dog says, don't give in to that. That's a momentary blip in your consciousness that speaks to the devil inside of all of us, the worst hell inside of us, that fear of being alone and abandoned and impoverished. So you have to look at the things that enrich you. And enrichment means not necessarily money. It means heart, and it means sharing, and it means giving, and it means, continuing being the sustainer. And sometimes it means, again, as I said, stepping up and asking for help, stepping out of one's, smallness of feeling and unworthiness of feeling and going, I need to help myself. I need to choose to help myself. I need to choose to be loyal to my highest good, loyal to my body, loyal to my mind, loyal to my heart, loyal to my soul that says, I am divine. I am inspirited in flesh. I am sacred being, and I have power still and two, and I can perform miracles still and two in my life. And I can, when I open my heart and I don't see myself as the only thing that matters, because I'm afraid that I don't matter, when I can step out of myself and I can help somebody else to heal themselves, to get something done that they need, to offer them something that I could actually give to them, do I grow and do I heal and do I come into a better place within myself? This is about, being loyal to uplifting yourself. And if you can't uplift yourself, asking others for help. But this is a painful card, Five of Pentacles, in a lot of ways. But it's a universal humanity card. We all reach those points, the lowest depths at times. Not necessarily that this is where you need to go, but there's a pain of destitution of the soul, or destitution of the body, wherever you find it. And you have to just keep going, the sustainer, keep going, and keep lifting yourself up and keep working and keep asking for help and keep letting miracles come to you. Because I think Five of Pentacles says you don't believe in grace, but you have to remind yourself that grace is not something you can think about. It's just something that happens, and it comes often when you least expect it, and it comes often when you ask for it and pray for it and call it in and are open to recognize it. You have to be open to recognize the graces that come to you and not keep putting yourself down and calling yourself bad and wrong and evil and sinful and abominable, whatever the words are, that says destitution to you, that say, outsider to you. You're not an outsider. There are most of us go through this. You're not an outsider. Most of us have to deal with this because we are in bodies and we're separated from the, quote, spirit that's outside of us. But no, the spirit is inside of us and we're directly connected to it. And we forget that. And that's what this is all about. Remembering that you can be eaten by the dragon of, abandonment and torture and judgment and shame and pain, or you can take on that dragon and use that energy to light the path for yourself and light the path for others and be a spark for other people to remember that they're sacred, that they're holy, that they have the flame of vitality, that they have a flame of consciousness, and that prosperity is not judged by how much money you have, or how many good clothes you have, or what job title you have. Prosperity is judged by where your heart is in communion with everything that is around you, and whether you're rich in your soul, rich in your creativity, rich in your humor and your light, rich in your sense of sharing, rich in your sense of, I'm not alone and I share this with other beings of truth and light and beauty and sacredness, and that lifts you up and that helps you to keep sustaining yourself through whatever you need to go through. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be some hard times, but there's going to be some amazingly good times too. Allow yourself to have amazingly good things happen to you this year. Miracles and grace and blessings and higher elements that maybe you weren't willing to see before. But this feels like a changing time for you, and a time for you to come into your power and release some of those thoughts of destitution. Oh.